The Tenderloin gave me a girl. The first night at my apartment in the Tenderloin turned into sex with a fan from my novel. The only furniture in my apartment was a bed and bathroom supplies. I had recently gone through a breakup with a girl. We lived together in the Mission District, and I had two options. Stay in the Mission District, a neighborhood I adore, and live with a roommate, or move to a studio into the Loin and live alone. I needed some solitude, and I like Vietnamese food. Yeah. The Tenderloin invited me into her arms by giving me a sexy 24-year-old girl. Someone who was literate. Someone who came from the Sunset District and wanted to meet me at the Hemlock. Someone who didn't shave her pubes. I respect the jungle down there. The Tenderloin called and gave me a dark-haired woman with kissable lips and an infectious, eager smile. After drinking at the Hemlock, we ended up back at my place, and we were naked within 30 seconds, rolling around on my only piece of furniture, my bed. "Do you have a condom?" she asked. In my 40 years on this planet, I hadn't slept with that many women. She was my 8th. I was a virgin until I was married when I was 25, since I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I didn't have a condom. I hadn't thought that far ahead to having sex, since I was actually too busy promoting my novel and touring. I needed a condom. I ran downstairs from my apartment, and outside, while the wind gusted east down Geary Street, I wore my clothes half on and half off, so when I got back to my apartment, she wouldn't have time to change her mind. There was a naked, sexy girl waiting in my bed. It was 2:45 a.m., so all the liquor stores were closed. I asked an Asian dude walking down the street with a tripod, who seemed harmless, "Where can I find a condom at this hour?" He said, "Try Frenchie's, an adult bookstore, an adult video shop up the street." Then he asked, "Why the desperation?" And I told him I had a naked girl waiting for me upstairs, like I had just gone deep sea fishing and I had caught the largest tuna on the boat. Can I film you guys? Welcome to the Tenderloin. I ran to Frenchie's. I put my hand in the condom cookie jar, buying whatever I pulled out. Lubed, ribbed for her pleasure, hooker grade, STD, double fix. Running down Geary back to my apartment, I held the handful of condoms in the air like it was an Olympic torch. I ran toward my victory. I found condoms and I was gonna have sex. She was still naked when I opened my apartment door. I shed my clothes. She had a wonderful laugh, and we giggled and snuggled under my blanket, and we got things started again. I fell in love with her that night. I fell in love with the Tenderloin that night. I fall in love easily. Less than a week later, she was talking about relationship, and it was too soon for me. I needed to heal from my last two long-term relationships. I needed to understand myself. I needed to trust myself. And I knew my judgment was clouded by my own baggage and my lust for her body. The Tenderloin and I still are in a relationship. We've had our ups and downs. I gaze upon her and just watch. And I know that if there is an apocalypse, this is how people will look and act. Many carrying all of their possession in a shopping cart. Some screaming at the sky with mangled faces because they didn't get their medicine. Prescribed and unprescribed. And then there are the tough Brazilian tranny hookers, all dolled up, every once in a while slamming a purse on some privileged suburban white kid who thought the loin was Disneyland. It is not okay to touch and make fun of the characters. And then there's us, so-called functioning people. We walk a straight line. We hold our mouths quiet until society deems it appropriate. We clean ourselves. We watch the madness with sympathy, other times with dread, knowing one little click in our brain can have us wandering down these streets, screaming how well our novels were received and about that one time we had sex and fell in love with a fan. It would be hard to believe while begging for money and pissing in an alley. As for the girl from the Sunset District who came to welcome me to the Tenderloin with her adoration, well, there are times I can still smell her hair. Thanks.